Yeah, it's wrong every time. Nope, that's wrong too. That's wrong. Okay, that's more or less wrong. That's not as wrong. Uh Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. It's time for old time radio. Let's go.
Fun from the past that's built to last. Retro Radio WATT. John and Joe in the studio. Retro Radio WATT. Hey everyone, let's have some fun. Retro Radio WATT. Drama plays from the good old days. Retro Radio WATT. Mystery Night, pure delight. Retro Radio WATT. Comedy gold, stories told. Retro Radio WATT.
Yes, it's time for Retro Radio WATT, my friends. And oh my goodness, what a wonderful show this is. It's so great to do this show. And this is going to be the last one for a month. Oh, what are you doing, John? Well, to help me explain, let me bring on the man who completes John and Joe in the evenings here at WATT. That, of course, would be Radio Joe Townsel. How are you, Radio Joe?
Radio John Weber, I'm doing well. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the concept of more or less wrong, but I'll get it. But that's not important right now because I've already been treated to 3 great tunes through our intro material. And per your request, I will add my 2 cents as far as what we're doing with our Sunday night shows. The important thing is every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, you got great quality entertainment from Weber Internet Thingy. Whether it's Retro Rangers, whether it's Retro Radio WATT, one or the other will be there. Now, what's happening, though, is we have been alternating them to this point. For various reasons, we're going to go to a weekly format for Rangers beginning next week with lots of good, spooky stuff coming your way for Halloween month.
That's the thing. Big build up for Halloween.
Big build up. Then we'll flip that in November to do weekly Retro Radio WATT, then back to weekly Rangers for December for Christmas.
It's all because I'm in a play. And I think, pretty much starting in November, my Sundays are going to be very busy. So Joe and I are going to be pre-recording those shows. And because we've got Christmas coming up and we had so much fun last year building up to Christmas through December with Retro Rangers, it really was like a golden time for Retro Rangers, Joe.
Golden era.
So, what we have is I gave Chris a nickname and he kicked it back.
Oh. Okay.
Well, all right.
Hey, you know what? If Chris identifies as Chris, then who are we to say?
That's a very good point. Yes, that's a very good point. Either way, he's Buck. There you go, Chris. A terrible joke for you.
And I'll tell you, one thing that I know Chris is adamant about, no matter what kind of pushback he may get, he always pulls out his Arnold Schwarzenegger and says, "I'll be Bach." So there you go.
Yes, he does.
Woo, boy.
It's radio, folks. It's radio. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be live. That's what we always used to say. And a classic Bachism. I have a point, but my hat covers it.
I feel you, my friend.
Okay, so we are looking at so tonight we had this all right. So we had a discussion a long ways back, and we had talked about various radio shows and how unusual they could be. And one of the shows that we discussed was a show called Night Beat.
Yes, I remember.
Night Beat debuted in 1950. It is a very well done show, very earnest, very, very like, oh, people stories about people, very, very earnest. And so I kind of, knowing that we always like to do a show a little bit over an hour on our Sundays, that certainly is not changing. I wanted to kind of fill out the picture a little bit. So we're going to listen to some radio shows that are based on journalism or newspapers or things like that, kind of build you up to your big double feature, because the big double feature is Night Beat, which is a very good show, and then immediately followed by the Comics Weekly Man, in which a guy reads the funnies, and he and an actress who plays a character named Honey, which rhymes with funnies, they act out skits based on the funnies in the Comics Weekly from, I believe, the Hearst newspapers. So if you don't already have enough Citizen Kane in your life, there you go. This is from Kane's paper, from Hearst's paper. But
Chief, what a scoop!
But don't call me Chief. But that's going to be tonight's show. You're going to want to stick around for Comics Weekly, man. It is one of the weirdest shows I've ever heard. It is probably one of the easiest to find public domain radio shows because no one claims it. No one likes it. No one's proud of it. But it's interesting. You should hear it at least once in your life. And it's not terrible. It's really not terrible, especially with friends. You can get through this, my friends. Okay. Yes, that's right, John Atkinson. It's Comics Weekly. So let's get
that could describe you and me, John, for that matter.
It sure could. I mean,
at least me.
We're not proud. We're just happy to have the gig. All right. Okay, so let's start with Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Truth is stranger than fiction. This is Ripley's Believe It or Not. General Townsel of London could control the palpitation of his heart and suspend its action entirely at will, but he tried it once too often. He died 8 days after suspending his heart action for half an hour. Believe it or not. In a moment, I'll tell you the story behind the name Manhattan. The Indian word for Manhattan is Mannahatta. This name is traceable to the year 1524 when Giovanni Verrazzano, the Florentine explorer, landed for the first time at what is now the lower extremity of New York City. He gave the Indians their first taste of firewater. A good time was had by all, and ever after the natives referred to the island as Mannahatta, which in their Indian tongue meant the place of drunkenness. Believe it or not.
Oh,
C-O-L.
okay. My bad.
C-O-L-G-A-T-E.
Okay. Joe, what do you think of Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Well, I mean, I remember listening to much later editions, of course, that when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge, the Mad Magazine takeoff, rip-offs Believe It or Don't, as I recall. I tell you, that was very dramatic and hard to believe.
The interesting thing about Ripley's Believe It or Not is I believe that what they did was they took the 1930s broadcast and they repackaged it in the 1960s, and they put that echoey, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Like, they didn't have that kind of effect way back in the 30s. So I believe what they did was they repurposed the old recordings from the 30s, which is really cool. And very glad we got to hear that. So
wait a minute, I see somebody up here. I'm sure you're going to mention right now, John. Somebody in the title of this video.
Bill Stern? Well, I did want to throw some credit to John Atkinson. So going into a bar and ordering a Manhattan is a bit redundant.
Good point.
I also love the idea that Native Americans had never discovered fermentation. They had. fermentation is one of the most widely understood things in all of humankind because food goes bad. And sometimes if it's fruit juice, you can get a little tipsy on it.
All I know is like I went to a bar and I said, "What do you have, stranger?" And I said, "I'll give me a Manahata."
All right. So the Bill Stern Sports Newsreel, or as it's sometimes known, Bill Stern's Sports Reel. Bill Stern, you may remember if you ever, Joe, I've never asked you this. Did you ever watch the Woody Allen film? Let's not go there. But the film Radio Days. Did you ever watch that?
Wow. I'm sure I did, but it's been so long.
Radio Days is about how radio was always playing in our heroes, in our lead character's life. And that eventually, he looks back on it and realizes that radio was such a big part of his childhood. And one of the things that he would include would be a reference to this show. He didn't name drop it directly because this show was outrageous. This show, again, if you try to fact check it, you will be proven right. The show will be proven wrong. Yes, that's absolutely right, Chris. Radio Days. The young Woody Allen was played by Seth Green.
Oh, good casting.
Who just a little fella at the time too. And so once you hear it and you go, wait, could that be true? I guarantee you it is not true. He actually told a story one time. I swear to God, Bill Stern told the story that John Wilkes Booth was a baseball player and he was struck out by Abraham Lincoln. And maybe that's why John Wilkes Booth shot him.
What was the movie that had Abe and the Babe? Where he was playing against Babe Ruth in the 1800s. So there must be something tying all this together that's factual.
It's okay. Let's get into the crazy because it's Retro Radio WATT and we run to the crazy with open arms. All right. I should also mention thank yous to this is from Broadcast Radio Volume 4. I am not subscribed to them. Let's get that subscribed. Let's give them their first like. Of course, Classic Archives gave us the Ripley's episode. So here we go. This is the beauty. Now, this is from May 24th, 1946. The guest, the in-studio guest with Bill, will be a young lady called Lucille Ball. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
I hear she was a lovely lady.
She was lovely. She was a kooky redhead, too.
Colgate, Colgate presents Bill Stern
with the Colgate Shave Cream Sports Newsreel.
Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, is on the air. Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, with stories rare. Take his advice and you'll look keen. You'll get a shave that's smooth and clean. You'll be a Colgate brushless fan.
Love that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bill Stern with a 342nd edition of the Colgate Shave Cream Sports Newsreel, featuring strange and fantastic stories. Some that are legends, others mere hearsay, but all so interesting we'd like to pass them along to you. Our special guest tonight is one of the most famous movie stars in Hollywood, Miss Lucille Ball. But before we introduce Lucille Ball in person, let's begin with Reel 1. A member of baseball's all-star team for 4 years, this hot corner man is one of the best third basemen in the National League. He is Stan Hack of the Chicago Cubs. And Stan Hack starts out the day shaving with Colgate Brushless. Very recently wrote me,
Dear Bill, it's a real pleasure to put in a plug for Colgate Brushless Shave Cream. I've got a sensitive skin and my face really used to complain after a shave. But not anymore, though. I find Colgate Brushless as one no-brush cream that's a comfort to a skin like mine. That's why I build Colgate Brushless as big leave stuff with me. Signed, Stan Hack.
because so many sports stars use it, Colgate Brushless is called the shave cream of champions. If you'll notice, practically all of the stars who pay tribute to Colgate Brushless own up to having wiry whiskers and sensitive skin. Now, if you're in that class, then it's Colgate Brushless Shave Cream for you. You're going to love this light, fluffy cream for the way it softens your stubborn whiskers, so your razor can cut close and clean without snagging or pulling. Yeah, and you're going to love the way Colgate Brushless stays moist and active, the way it doesn't dry out. Again, you'll be glad it's light and fluffy, not gooey or greasy, and you'll like the speedy way it rinses off your razor. Look, If you've been promising to try Colgate Brushless Shave Cream, get yourself a jumbo jar. That's the 9-ounce economy size, and get it tonight. And if you're not 100% satisfied with the results, just send the top of the carton to me, Bill Stern, care of Colgate, Jersey City, Zone 2, New Jersey, and I'll see that you get double your money back. Now, could anything be fairer? Reel 2, profile of great athletes who were not famous as athletes. This is a story as told to me of great athletes who became far greater in other fields. But let's begin the story. Years ago, there was a ball player playing professional baseball who wanted to be a great pitcher, and he might have been a great pitcher if he hadn't broken his arm. But because he did break his arm, he had to learn to use his other arm. And when he began using his other arm, he found that with his other arm, he could draw. He could draw beautifully, something he never would have known but for a broken arm in baseball. Today, his drawings are famous, for he is, believe it or not, Bob Ripley. But now let me tell you the story of one of England's greatest cricket players. He, too, was reputedly a fine athlete. That is, he was a fine athlete until one day he was badly injured in a cricket game. His kidney was smashed. One of his lungs was punctured. He almost bled to death. In fact, he was so badly injured that he was forced to stay in bed for 12 years. During those 12 years in bed to pass the time away, he began to try to write. And he was so successful with his writings that he made over $1 million. For this man, who never would have become a writer but for an athletic accident, is today one of the most famous authors in the world. You know him as H.G. Wells. Strange, isn't it, that athletic accidents should make famous writers out of H.G. Wells and Bob Ripley? But even stranger is the story of Charles Dodson. Charles Dodson loved to race. He loved to race sailing boats. And one day, Charles Dodson had a group of children in his racing boat when a storm suddenly blew up. The children reputedly became frightened of the storm. And to calm them down, Charles Dodson began to tell these children stories that he was making up on the spur of the moment. The children forgot their fears as they listened to these stories. However, when he was back on shore, Charles Dodson remembered these stories that he'd made up for those children. And because they'd liked them so much, he decided to put these stories down on paper. He wrote under the name of Lewis Carroll. And those stories that he invented in his racing boat that day to calm the children were destined to become the most famous children's stories ever written. You know those stories as Alice in Wonderland. But up to now, these have been stories of athletes who became writers. Now let me tell you the story as told to me of a writer who became an athlete. But this is the story of a writer who didn't want to go on writing, but wanted to race automobiles. And finally, this writer gave up writing and bought a racing car. One day in this car, this driver was doing better than 90 miles an hour when suddenly the car hit an oil patch. The front wheels began to skid. The brakes wouldn't hold. The car was out of control. Desperately, the driver tried to hang on as she crashed into a concrete wall. The driver of that car was lucky. Very lucky to be alive. For that smash-up was so bad that even though the newsreel cameraman had taken full pictures of it, those newsreels could not be shown in any theaters. But even though those newsreels couldn't be shown in the theaters, one newsreel executive did look at these films, and while he was horrified at these pictures of the smash-up, nevertheless, from what he saw on the screen, according to the story, he was so impressed with the face of that auto driver that he ordered that this driver be given a screen test. And as a result of that screen test, this racing driver was offered a Hollywood movie contract. For you see, that driver was a girl who, thanks to those newsreel pictures of a racing accident, is today one of Hollywood's most famous stars. You know her as Lucille Ball. And here she is in person, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's great star, Miss Lucille Ball.
Thank you, Bill. I'll tell you something else about the automobile accident I was in. They told me I'd never walk again.
And you not only walk perfectly, Lucille, but you're quite a sports enthusiast, too.
Well, I like to play tennis.
Go on, Lucille. What else?
Oh, I like badminton and horseback riding.
Any other sports?
Yes, I like to swim and ride an aquaplane.
I hear, Lucille, that you are quite a fisherman, too.
Hey, look, as your guest, I thought it was my right to ask you questions.
You're right, it is. Go ahead, Lucille.
Well, is it true that Bob Ripley started his Believe It or Not drawings because he couldn't play baseball?
Yes, that is absolutely true.
And how about Alice in Wonderland being written only because its author had some children out in a boat race?
Well, now, that's a very hard story to check, Lucille, but as near as we could find out, that is the legend of how those stories began. Are you through with your questions now?
Yes, sir.
All right, then, Lucille, here's some questions for you to answer. What's your latest picture?
Well, it's called Easy to Wed. And I think I enjoyed making it more than any picture I've ever made, Bill.
Well, now, why is that, Lucille?
Well, because it's a comedy and because I worked with Van Johnson, Hubba Hubba Hubba, and Keenan Wynn and Esther Williams, my favorite co-workers. Oh, yes, and because it's in Technicolor.
I understand that your Shakespearean scene with Van Johnson is the highlight in Easy to Wed.
Well, I don't know.
Now, wait a minute, Lucille. If you're too modest to talk about yourself, I'm going to have to do it for you. You, Lucille Ball, have been decorated 4 separate times for your work, the work that you've done in entertaining our boys throughout the war. And I would like to read the inscription on the back of one of your medals. It says, to Lucille Ball, who gave her time with unselfish devotion in the entertainment of our troops, unquote.
Bill, I would just like to add that I know that job is far from over. There are many boys still in hospitals, many vets looking for homes. Let's not forget them or their problems. I'm not going to forget, and I hope America won't. Good night, Bill, and thank you.
No wonder you've been honored. Thanks so much. Good luck and good night, Lucille Ball. Reel 3, Charles F. McCarthy.
What's Colgate brushless shave cream got that so many champs saluted? Oh, brother, it's got plenty. Try it for your next shave. Wash your face, spread it on, shave it off. Yeah, it's that fast with Colgate Brushless, the shave cream of champions. It's really amazing how this light, fluffy cream takes the fight out of barbed wire whiskers, how it teams up with your razor for a no-pull, no-snag performance, and how refreshed it leaves your face. No sting or smart. And here's the sweet payoff. A quick rinse and Colgate Brushless washes clean off your face and razor. Reasons enough for you to try Colgate Brushless, the shave cream of champions. Get yourself a jumbo jar tonight. And now, back to Bill Stern.
Reel 4, profile of the 24th of May. Today is the 24th of May, and this is a legend that began many years ago on another May the 24th. For according to this story, back in 1915, during the First World War, on the 24th of May, 3 men, Jack Judge, Felix Powell, and Ivor Novello, sat in the famous Wimbledon Tennis Stadium in England, watching the English tennis champions. These 3 men had never met before, and yet on this day, these 3, drawn together by a tennis match, found themselves seated side by side, and as they began to talk, they discovered that each one of these 3 were songwriters. Soon the talk naturally drifted from tennis to songs. Each vowed that he could write a better war song than any of the others. And finally a bet was made of £1,000. The 3 were to meet 1 year later at the same tennis tournament, and whoever had written the best war song in the meantime would win that money. Jack Judge was the first of these 3 to have his war song published. It soon became famous.
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go.
It's a Long Way to Tipperary caught on at once. It became the greatest marching song of the English Army. Troops marched off to war singing that song. However, Jack Judge, who wrote this marching song, could never march himself. You see, Jack Judge was a cripple. The next of that trio at that tennis match to write a war song was Felix Powell, for it was he who wrote,
Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile.
Pack Up Your Troubles was a big hit. All over England, men, women, and children began to sing it. It made that whole nation want to smile. It made England smile and forget its troubles. And yet its composer, Felix Powell, couldn't smile, even though his song had taught a nation how. For when Felix Powell composed this song to make a nation happy, he himself was so depressed that he took his own life. The last of these 3 who'd made that bet while watching a tennis match, Ivor Novello, finally had his song published, too. And it became a big hit. For it was he who wrote England's great war song entitled,
Keep the home fires burning while your hearts are yearning.
Keep the home fires burning, kept those fires burning brighter in every Englishman's heart during those tragic days of the last World War. And yet it's ironical in one of those strange twists of fate that Ivor Novello, who did write Keep the Home Fires Burning during the last war, had his own home burned down, burned completely down to the ground in this war. Of the 3 songs, Keep the Home Fires Burning, written by Ivor Novello, became the most popular during the last war. So popular that its composer, Ivor Novello, was sent to the United States in 1917 to tour our American Army camps and entertain our boys. For America in 1917 had also gone into this war. And so Ivor Novello traveled from army camp to army camp, singing his famous song, Keep the Home Fires Burning, until one day this Englishman arrived at Camp Upton in New York State. Here, he met an American soldier who had written a war song. But as the American soldier put it very bitterly, my song is a failure. Nobody sings it. Nobody wants to hear it. Mr. Novello, you're a composer, a great one. Your song, Keep the Home Fires Burning, will live forever. Will you look at my song and tell me what's wrong with it? Why is it a failure? Ivor Novello took the song the American soldier had written, looked at it, and listened to it. And then, according to the story, Ivor Novello said a strange thing. You tell me this song of yours is a failure. I tell you it's the greatest war song I've ever heard. Someday this whole nation will be singing your song. Believe me, it's a great number. That happened 28 years ago, but it's all come true. That song that American soldier wrote during the First World War became America's most famous song in this last war. For the soldier who wrote it was Irving Berlin, and the song was God Bless America.
God bless America, my home, sweet home.
It's the 3-0 mark for tonight. Next Friday night, we'll be back, same time, same stations, with another edition of the Colgate Shave Cream Sports Newsreel. Next Friday evening, we'll be broadcasting from the city of Chicago as we'll be going west, where our guest will be the famous orchestra leader, Mr. Jimmy Dorsey. So be sure and be with us at our usual time next Friday night when we broadcast from Chicago and present as our very special guest, the one and only Jimmy Dorsey. See you then. And until then, I'll be seeing you on the screen in the News of the Day newsreel at your favorite Lowe's or Associated Theaters. Now, until next Friday night at this very same time, this is Bill Stern for Colgate Shave Cream, wishing you all a good night.
Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, is on his way. Bill Stern, the Colgate Shave Cream Man, had lots to say. He told you tales of sports heroes, the inside dope he really knows. So listen in next Friday night. Colgate.
Miss Lucille Ball appeared on this program tonight, courtesy of Metro Goldwyn Mayer Picture. The Bill Stern Show tonight came to you from New York City.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
So, what do you think of Bill Stern and his sports reel, Mr. Townsel?
Mr. Weber. Well, it's definitely entertaining and thought-provoking. The thing that occurred to me was it sounds like Lucille Ball probably recorded her lines maybe a week prior from home or something.
That's a very good point. I hadn't even been thinking about that, but yeah, she probably
it sounded very carefully rehearsed and very precise in the exchange with Bill Stern.
Right. Johnny A says the lengths they would go to sell shaving cream
and to send you to the movies over the weekend. This was Friday nights apparently, and hey, go check out a newsreel at the movies.
That's right. So, all right, let's settle in now. We're going to, Chris agrees with you, Joe. We're going to now listen to Night Beat. This, again, very interesting show. I can't wait to hear what you all think of it. It is my wife. It is her favorite radio show.
Really?
Yes. And she would walk in on me listening to it, and she would sit down and be like, this is a really good show. At which point I'd go, you don't love Fibber McGee and Molly? Wait, that's the best show. But she did like this show. So here we go. Forgive us for any of the graphics. These, of course, are videos that we're pulling from YouTube. And I don't agree with a lot of these graphics. So let's take a look at this one. All right. This is the Nikola Tesla wireless radio account. He not only has some fine shows, but he's got some really good quality shows. So Nick Tesla, if you're listening, thanks a lot, pal.
Thank you, Nick.
I have no idea who runs this. Okay, so this is from 1950. It is the 4th episode of this series, which actually had multiple pilot episodes. It took a long time before they settled on what you're going to hear tonight. Here we go. Night Beat.
John, are we sharing? And for what it's worth, we're missing your words of wisdom right now.
I did everything backwards. Okay. I muted my mic first. I did not share it. Okay. Here we go. Here we go, friends. All right.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one started, strangely enough, with the flame of a match, whose feeble glow lit up a lightened face in the darkness, a frightened face twisted by an agonizing fear of death.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
The night is a thief, some poet once wrote, that steals the colors from the day. It's kind of pretty if you like words, but for my dough, they're not exactly true. Because there are colors at night. The burning red of passion, the angry green of jealousy, and the ugly, terrifying black of fear. This was one of those nights when pickings were slim. I'd cover the town from Henry's bar in the Mart, out to Hyler's on the North Shore, and back downtown again with nothing to show for it. I was taking a shortcut through Lincoln Park to pick up my car. At that time of night, the park was pretty deserted, except for this girl walking up ahead of me. Not a bad silhouette, I might add, against the distant light. We were about halfway through the park when suddenly she stopped and threw herself onto a bench at the side of the path. There was something almost desperate about the way she did it. I ran up to her. Excuse me, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Well, I thought maybe you were sick or something.
I told you I'm all right. Will you please let me alone?
Oh, now look, lady, it's not what you think. Well, this park at this time of night, it's no place for a girl to sit around by herself.
I don't need any help. Just go away.
Oh, sure, I'll get lost. I can see you're all right. Only you don't mind if I just sit here and smoke a cigarette before I go?
It's a public park. I don't care what you do.
Thank you. You care for a cigarette?
No.
Of course, in order to really enjoy a smoke, you've got to have a match first. I said in order to enjoy a smoke, you've got
I heard you. Here.
Thank you. Here.
Keep the book.
No, you better hang on to these.
I won't need them.
Well, you might need them later tonight.
After tonight, I won't need anything.
Oh, now, wait a minute. That's no way to talk. The only time you're not going to need anything, sister, is after you're dead.
Why did you say that?
What?
That about being dead.
For no reason. Why?
Because after tonight, I will be.
The girl jumped up and started running. Here was a kid that was afraid. Afraid of death or afraid of life. But then, isn't everybody? I turned the matchbook over and looked at the ad on the cover. Penguin Club. A little all-night jump and jive place over on Clark Street. That's one I've been missing lately. On a hunch, I ambled up North Avenue in that general direction, turned up Clark a ways, and there it was. It was good to get inside out of that wind.
Check the hat and coat, mister?
No, thanks. I'm just looking around.
And get your table? It's almost the end of the floor show.
Now, anywhere in the back will be all right.
Okay.
The hat check girl, hostess or whatever she was, walked me through the bar to the edge of the main room. And then I stopped and really did a take. Out in the middle of the dance floor, under a little baby spot, singing in front of a 5-piece band, was Little Miss Desperate from the park.
Nice voice, don't you think?
Yeah. Who is she?
Oh, that's Franny. Fran Fowler. Haven't you been in here before?
Not for quite a few months.
Of course, she hadn't got much experience yet.
From out of town,
Someplace over in Wisconsin. Not bad looking, huh?
In everything.
Hey, what's wrong with her?
Gee, I don't know.
I can't.
Well, how do you like that?
Come on, folks, come on. Let's give the little girl a great big hand. Nothing like a real sad song to wind up a real sad act, especially for a real sad tomato type tomato. No. It's all in fun. So let's dance now. Come on, you lucky guys and girls. Get over here. Move around. Hiya, Peggy, you got some live one, huh?
Hello, Tommy. This is Tommy Mason. Ain't he the one?
Yes, he's quite the one, all right.
Gee, Tommy, you sure covered up for Franny, all right.
Never let down. Keep 'em going all the time. That's show business. You know how it is, mister.
Oh, yes, I've heard. The show must go on. It's a new thing.
You gotta keep 'em laughing.
Honest, mister, he's this way all the time. What a joker.
Oh, right. Look, about that girl.
Franny?
Yeah, Franny. What seems to be the trouble?
Well, that's hard to say, pal. Maybe she just found out she ain't no Dinah Shore. Ain't she sure, ain't?
Tommy, you killed me.
Seriously, fella, why would a girl break up that way in the middle of a number and start to cry?
Could be she got a cinder in her eye. But just to make sure, I'll go ask her.
See you later, Tommy. Come on, fella. How's about buying a girl a drink?
Oh, sure, in a minute. About this Franny.
Look, do we have to talk about her? I thought you came in here for some fun.
Maybe I get my fun wondering about people. What time's the next floor show?
Next one's at 2, then 4.
Oh, they're not kidding about this all-night business.
And still another one at daylight.
She's singing all of them?
How should I know? She missed most of the 12 o'clock show. Just got here for that last number.
Any idea where she lives?
The rooming house around on Erie Street.
No, the number?
391. You know, you ask an awful lot of questions.
Well, that's my business. I'm a reporter, Randy Stone.
I might have known it. Look, you're not going to bother her tonight, are you? Of all nights?
Tonight?
This is the night that Charlie Dana's being executed down at Joliet.
What's that got to do with her?
Well, how would you feel? Look, Mr. Stone, she's human. This is the night her boyfriend's going to die.
I went up to the front of the bar to a phone booth and called the paper. There was something about this in the back of my mind somewhere, something I ought to remember but couldn't. I had the girl on the board put me through to Gabby in the library. Oh, hello, Gabby. This is Randy.
Yeah, Randy?
What have you got on the Charlie Dana case?
Still a little early, Randy. Execution's not set until 1:30.
No, I mean old stuff.
Oh, I got the file right here, Randy. Dug it out earlier for background.
Good. Anything on a girl named Fran Fowler?
Yeah, let's see. Charlie Dana, small-time gambler, killed a guy named Danelli.
Oh, yes. I remember that. A gambling beat.
Execution originally set for November, but he got a couple of months' stay. Oh, here she is, Fran Fowler. Singer in a nightclub. Was supposed to be his alibi, but the DA blew her up on the witness stand. She admitted she wasn't positive about when she'd been out with the guy.
Oh, yeah, that was it. I knew it was something. Anything more?
Oh, details, Randy, details.
Okay, Gabby, thanks. I'll catch up with you. Oh, Mason. Excuse me, were you waiting to use the phone?
No, I was waiting to talk to you.
Why, certainly, but this time, no jokes, if you don't mind. I'm expecting a headache.
You're not funny, Stone. Who are you talking to?
Well, isn't that kind of my business?
Peggy says you're a reporter.
Yes, of a sort.
You were asking about Fran, where she lived?
That's right.
You gotta let her alone, see? You printed enough about her.
Just a minute, Mason. Those are my lapels that you're hanging on to.
Peggy shouldn't have given you Fran's address. I don't want you bothering her.
I said let go of my lapels, funny man, or something's liable to explode in your face. Now, you stay out of my way or I'll ruffle that shiny hair.
Where you going?
See about a cinder in a lady's eye.
You're not going to see her. I won't let you. Can't you see this whole thing's driving her crazy?
Tommy, believe me, I'm not interested in harming her or anyone. I'm just a guy trying to do a job. Now, if you'll step out of my way...
You're not going there. I won't let you. I won't let
Charlie,
you.
but you asked for it. My, that's a real nervous fella. Now that he'd made such an issue out of it, going around to see Fran Fowler was a definite must on my schedule. I picked up my car and drove over to Erie Street. 391 wasn't much different from any of the rest of the rooming houses on the block. I got the number of her room from the mailbox and started down the dingy corridor to room 8. I knocked at the door, but there was no answer. I knocked again, and then I smelled gas.
Hey, anyone in there? Miss Fowler! Fran!
I put my shoulder to the door, and the flimsy lock snapped open. I rushed into the gas-filled room, holding my breath until I could smash open the window and let in some air. And then I saw Fran Fowler, the girl from the park, lying across the bed. And on a table beside her, one of those 2-burner gas stoves with both jets wide open. I turned them off and started shaking the girl. Miss Fowler, Franny, come on, get up. You got to get out of here.
Down alone.
Look, am I going to have to carry you?
Put me down.
You little fool, this room is filled with gas.
My purse.
Where?
On the table.
Okay, I've got it.
Oh,
Fine thing with a gun in it.
give that to me.
Outside, baby, outside. It was 6 seconds flat when we hit the sidewalk in the fresh air. I put Fran on the front seat of my car and then ran around and climbed in behind the wheel. I headed out to Sheridan Road along the lake. The cool, clean air felt good in my lungs, and I could see Fran drinking it in, realizing now how close she'd been. I didn't make her talk until we were a long way out of town. Then I pulled over to the beach side of the road and killed my motor. We, seem to keep bumping into each other in the strangest places tonight.
I guess I should say thanks.
No, not at all. I'm the one who should say thanks. I still haven't returned your matches.
Please don't make fun of me.
No, I'm not. You see, I know now who you are.
Charlie Dana's girl. Why don't you say it?
In my book, you're just a kid I met in the park.
What time is it?
It's 1:45.
Then...
Yes, it's probably all over by now. Like me to turn on the radio?
No. No, I don't want to hear about it.
You must love him an awful lot.
Love him. I despise him.
But still you were willing to alibi for him on a murder charge?
I wasn't. I told him I wasn't sure of the time I was out with him, but he made me say it was the exact hour when the man was killed.
Didn't you realize you might have been perjuring yourself?
I didn't lie. I just didn't remember. It might have been like he said. When you're not sure, what else can you do?
Yeah. How'd you happen to get mixed up with him?
I didn't know anybody when I first came here. I was lonesome.
And he was nice to you.
He was. A lot more decent than most of the men who want to take you out when you're working in a club.
And why do you hate him now?
I didn't know what he did. A lot of people gamble. I didn't think too much about it. Then we got to going out evenings between shows at the club on my nights off.
And the killing happened when you and he were supposed to have been out someplace together?
That's what he said. He wasn't arrested until a few weeks after the trouble. I couldn't remember if I'd been with him during that particular time or not.
Well, it's all over now. You did what you had to. That's about all any of us can do. But you got to forget about it. Put it out of your mind. There's nothing more to worry about.
Oh, that's just it. You don't understand. There is.
What are you talking about?
He promised. He promised, and I know he'll keep his promise.
Promised what?
I want to see him in prison.
In the death house?
I had to. I wanted him to understand, but he said I tricked him.
What, by telling the truth on the witness stand?
He said I double-crossed him. But now he didn't care.
Why would he say that?
He said he didn't care because the night he died, I would die. And I'm afraid.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
This was real. This was no act. The sound she made would tear you to pieces, like some pitifully frightened animal who'd lost everything in the world. I let her cry it out. After all those months of strain, she'd have to get it out of her system.
He said the night he died, I died.
Sure. So you were scared. Who wouldn't be? But don't you see, that's just a cruel boast made by a cheap hoodlum who's trying to hurt you, make you feel responsible for his own plight.
But he meant it. I know he did.
Well, maybe he did at the time, but you've got nothing to worry about now. You had nothing to do with it. He paid for his own crime. Now he's dead, and you're still alive.
He'll keep his promise.
How can he? He's dead.
I know you think I'm crazy.
No. But has anyone really tried to harm you?
Oh, but this wasn't the night he was supposed to.
Yes, I know. The execution was originally set for November.
It was that night in November. I hadn't been afraid before. I thought it was like you said, because it was bitter. But all that day I was upset. I told him at the club I couldn't work, and late in the afternoon I got a note from Peggy saying why didn't I go out to her cabin at the dunes for a couple of days. Nobody would bother me, no reporters, and I could get a good rest. So I drove out there that evening. It was quiet. Nothing around. Just empty sand dunes and her cabin all alone on the edge of the lake. I called Peggy at the club to let her know I got in all right.
Hello, Fran. Where are you calling from?
Why, from your place.
My apartment?
No, your cabin.
At the dunes?
It was swell of you, Peggy, to let me come out here.
Well, of course, Franny. You're welcome to use the place, but I don't quite know what you mean.
Well, your note this afternoon telling me to come out here.
I didn't write you any note.
Oh, come on, Peggy. You did. You even told me where the key would be under the flower pot.
But, kid, that's where we always keep it. Everybody knows that.
Peggy,
Now, don't worry about it, kid. One of the girls probably sent you the note and just hasn't had a chance to tell me about it yet. I should have thought of it myself in the first place.
No, wait, Peggy. I'm scared.
Well, what in the world else?
Do you remember what I told you about what Charlie said the last time I saw him?
Prison?
It was about tonight that he said when he died.
Franny, now cut it before you drive yourself
Peggy,
back.
I'm all alone and I'm scared. I don't know what to do.
Franny, you gotta hang up right away. You shouldn't be out there all alone tonight. Get in your car and come back to town as fast as you can. I'll wait for you here.
All right, Peggy. All right. I hung up the phone and ran out of the house to my car. I turned on the ignition key and stepped on the starter. It wouldn't start. My car wouldn't start. I looked at the gas gauge. Empty. Somebody had drained the gas out of my car. I got out in a panic and started toward the highway. But there was a car out there, parked behind a big sand dune. I turned and ran back to the house. It was like some crazy, frightening nightmare. I didn't know what I was doing, but somehow I managed to get inside and lock the door. And then suddenly I was at the telephone. Operator, answer me. Operator, you've got to answer. I want the police. Operator, please help me. Someone. Operator! It was no use. The line was dead. While I was outside, someone had pulled the wires away from the wall. Crawled over to the window. Looked out to the highway. There was a car out there. Its lights were on. But as I looked, they went out. And now, I was alone. In the dark. With him out there. I must have passed out. When I came to, it was morning, and Peggy was there. She and Tommy had driven out after the club closed to find me.
But you see, you didn't die that night.
But neither did he.
Could have been your imagination, you know, this man in the car.
No. The news about this day of execution was on the radio. The man in the car must have heard it and gone away.
Did you call the police?
They didn't believe it. Just because I'm a nightclub singer, they said I was trying to get publicity.
How about the car not starting and the telephone being dead?
According to them, my car was just out of gas, and I must have pulled the telephone wires off the wall myself.
In the panic you were in, you could have.
But I didn't. I tell you, I didn't.
All right. Anyway, it's tonight that we're concerned with.
I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do.
Well, if it's true, this fear you have, you've got to find it out tonight. If you don't, it'll haunt you the rest of your life.
Oh, I know, but how?
You've got to go back to your room.
Oh, no, I'm afraid.
I'll be with you. Still got your gun, remember? By the way, what were you going to do with it?
I didn't have the nerve to use it. Even on myself.
Well, if anything is going to happen, it'll happen tonight. Not tomorrow or any time after that, but tonight. We'll go back to your place now and wait. Until it's daylight. I drove Fran back to the rooming house on Erie Street. There were no lights on anywhere in the building. We tiptoed down the empty corridor to Fran's room, listened at the door a minute, and went in. The door closed all right, but it wouldn't lock. I must have sprung it when I forced the door. We settled down and waited. For what? Once I thought I heard steps on the sidewalk far out front. It was that still. And then I did hear steps, slowly coming down the hall.
There's someone in the hall.
Keep it down.
He stopped outside the door.
Don't move.
Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my place? Oh.
Okay. Go ahead, kid. Go ahead. You got it coming.
I'm sorry. I'm all right now.
Nothing to be sorry about. I was kind of scared myself. It's a funny thing about fear. It's catching. Look out the window.
It's almost light.
And this all night has gone for good. You see? It was all in your mind. Things you were frightened of. It was nothing, really. You won't be afraid if I go now.
No. I've caused you an awful lot of trouble.
Oh, no, you cut that out or you'll get me going.
And the kids at the club, I guess I should go back there and let them know I'm all right.
What the doctor ordered for you was a little shut-eye. I'll stop by on my way and give them the word.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, here's your gun. You might want to pawn it for a couple of pair of nylons. Yes, a real nice tomato-type tomato, as the funny man at the club would say. On the way over, I got thinking about him and that girl, Peggy. Come to think of it, that was one point Fran had forgotten to clear up for me about the note that sent her out to Peggy's cabin at the dunes that night. Yeah, my mind wouldn't let go of that. When I got to the club, it was daylight, and they were folding up the joint, and Peggy was sitting alone at the bar.
Well, you got a nerve coming back here after...
How's your boyfriend?
He's not my boyfriend.
It's a figure of speech. Where is he?
He just left.
Okay, I'll settle for you.
If you don't mind, it's a little late for small talk, mister.
Okay, I'll give it to you fast. It's about that note you wrote to Fran Fowler last November on the night Charlie Dana was supposed to die.
What note?
Little late for small talk, remember?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know anything about a note inviting Fran to stay out at your place at the dunes?
I told her. I didn't know who wrote it.
Or were you telling the truth?
Yes, I was.
Okay, maybe you were. But you found out later who wrote it, didn't you?
No,
Now tell me the truth. Or would you rather tell the police?
All right. I did find out, but it wasn't like you think.
Well, who was it?
Tommy Mason.
Tommy Mason, the funny man? His idea of a joke, no doubt. A hilarious joke that might have scared a poor kid to death.
No, you're wrong. It wasn't a joke.
Well, then why? Why did he do it?
Because he's in love with her. He made me swear I wouldn't tell her. He wanted to wait until the time when she needed him, and then he'd tell her himself.
Until she needed him? How was he going to make her need him? Use a condemned murderer's empty threat to frighten her out of her sanity so she'd need him? Is he crazy?
He is where Fran's concerned.
Where is he?
I don't know. He's been like a maniac all night since you left here. After every show, he's gone over to Fran's place looking for her. He's crazy jealous.
Jealous of whom?
Of you. He thought she was with you.
What if she were?
This was the night. He was sure she would need him, and instead she turned to you. Don't you see?
Yes, I do now. Thanks. It was only about a half mile to Fran's, but it seemed more like 20 miles until I turned off Clark up Erie Street and slammed into the curb. There was no one on the street. I was hoping he'd walked and I'd pass him on the way, but there was no one. I ran down the narrow hall, not daring to think what I'd find, and I flung open the door. Are you alone?
You frightened me.
Are you alone?
Well, yes, I've been sitting here since you left. I'm too tired to undress.
Come on, let's get out of here. Grab your coat.
But
Never mind. I'll tell you on the way. I shoved Fran out the door, and we started cautiously back down the hall. We got about halfway when I grabbed her arm. The front door was opening slowly, and a man made a dark silhouette against the gray light of the dawn. It was the funny man. The man with the slick, shiny hair and the permanent smile and the fast jokes. Only the smile was gone, and he had a gun in his hand.
Keep coming. Keep coming.
We started towards him slowly.
Tommy. Tommy, it was you? You who were going to kill me?
You didn't know. You didn't know that I had a heart, too, just like Charlie Dana did.
Tommy, you never told me.
You never let me. You didn't need me. You would have laughed at me like you laughed at my jokes.
It couldn't have been you at the dunes that night.
I followed you out there.
And then drove back to the club. No, Tommy, no.
You were lonesome, but you didn't need me. You needed Charlie Dana. I thought if you were afraid, you'd need me. And then you were afraid, but still you didn't need me. But I'd make you need me. I'd make you.
Step by step, we moved closer.
Keep coming.
I could see his face twisted with jealousy and hate, his eyes wild, as though a spark might make him explode.
And tonight, when you were afraid and should have needed me, you didn't. You turned to him.
Tommy, please.
But now you need me. Now that I have my finger on this trigger, you need me more than you've ever needed anyone in your life. You need me. You need me, Franny. You need me. Say it. Say you need me. I can't shoot. I can't shoot.
He started to shake, and I ran forward and grabbed his gun.
Look out.
Drop it. It's all right. I've got the gun.
I can't.
Is he hurt?
Not to what he will be. Get up, funny man.
No. Don't be too hard on him. He didn't realize.
No, I guess maybe he didn't. It's funny, isn't it? You never really know what's going on in some of the best combed heads. Well, that's the way it goes. A little later than usual this morning. The day shift has already moved in and let the night crew wander off to their own private little beds. Well, at least I got to see the sun come up. And here I sit, still trying to make it all add up. But no matter how I figure it, the only answer I get is, you never know about people. But bless them, maybe that's why we love them. See that man walking towards you with a smile on his face? What's he smiling about? Or is it just so you won't notice how he's screaming inside? Ooh, the trouble with me is I haven't had my coffee yet. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, a dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. The part of Fran was played by Joan Banks. Paul Dubov played Tommy. Others in the cast were Georgia Ellis, Ken Christie, and Carol Richards. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Throughout the week, NBC brings you the best adventure mystery dramas on the air. You'll hear action-packed, fast-moving plots to hold your interest right up to the smashing climax on such thrilling programs as Big Town, Mr. District Attorney, The Big Story, and Dragnet, every week on most of these NBC stations. On Dragnet, you'll hear documented cases from the Los Angeles police files. The Big Story brings you true tales from the front pages of America's newspapers. Mr. District Attorney, the champion of the people, takes you through an exciting episode in the conviction of a criminal. And tomorrow night on Big Town, you'll hear crusading editor Steve Wilson crack down on the forces of evil. For the best high-tension dramas, hear NBC's great mystery and adventure programs. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat.
I love how this one came in a little early, so they had lots to talk about after.
I just wonder if the actors that played Tommy and Fran went off to have a real life stormy Hollywood marriage. They seem very well suited to each other.
Honestly, Georgia Ellis, I think she was a frequent guest actress on Dragnet.
John, I think the show affected your mic if you want to check it.
It should be on.
Okay. Sounded a little odd.
Oh, does it? Oh, you're saying yes, it did. It changed
my mic setting. It did.
No, you were on, but just not your usual soothing melodic self.
I also thought it was interesting that this show had a credit for the editor. That's unusual. That's very unusual. So, let's see.
Well, they recognize the value of a great editor. I know I do. So,
oh, hey, speaking of which, we should tell folks about our show that debuted today. Joe, let's talk about.
I would be delighted.
Let's talk about the latest episode of Joe Townsel's Dread Time Stories. Tell us about Phases.
Well, thank you, John. Yes, Phases. Again, as John said, it dropped today on YouTube, so check it out. We'll be posting a link, I believe, sometime tomorrow for your convenience. But otherwise, just search for it under my name on YouTube. And a little anecdote, if you'll indulge me for a moment.
Please do.
Phases comes from the Anticipation Collection, that my collaboration with 6 other authors, including our own great friend, Flobo Boyce and Rolando Herrera, who put the project together way back in 2016. This was the first short story I ever wrote. Believe it or don't.
Believe it or don't.
Oh, don't. So, I mean, a little bit revised and updated for Dread Time Stories, but yeah. So I hope you'll check it out and enjoy. It's definitely a dark and bizarre tale, and one that I hope is thought provoking and enjoyable to everybody.
This one, I have to say, I'm not going to give away anything, but this one, I thought about it for a good long while, and I always like to compare you. I have compared you to, of course, Stephen King, and this one was a little Dickensian. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought this one seemed like a Rod Serling story to me.
Well, you mentioned a story of mine in the same breath as Stephen King and Rod Serling. Of course, I'm extremely gratified and flattered. And I think, honestly, that's what I was going for with this. And, it definitely has a twist. I think people will really take them aback and, find perplexing.
Yeah. It's a great character piece, and there are definitely horror and science fiction elements to it, as there are in many great Joe Townsel stories. So we really encourage you to listen to it, just the way our own friend Chris did. Chris has already listened.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that, my friend, very much.
All right. Now, speaking of dark and bizarre, it can't all be Joe Townsel.
No.
Sometimes we have to go to old time radio, and I am just going to stop front selling this thing. I'm not selling this thing at all. So let me get it on the screen. Well, wait a second. I'm gonna jump ahead. Okay, and now I'm going to get it on the screen. because I only make that mistake 3 times out of 4. Here we go. All right, from 1950, my friends. This show is called The Comic Weekly Man. Now, I hate this graphic. Do not hold this graphic to any kind of reality. Bill Hoest and the Lockhorns were not in the Comic Weekly, for F's sake. Bill Hoest, one of my favorite comic strip artists, by the way.
Right, but a little bit after this time, I believe. Just slightly.
Just slightly. Blondie, yes. No, I don't think Donald Duck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie showed up. Beetle Bailey, yes. But this one features Flash Gordon. And I'm, as you know, I'm a huge Flash Gordon fan. So he'll save every one of us. Oh, and here we go. This one has no likes. This is how bizarre and sort of hidden this show is.
So you're the first.
We are the first, my friend. All right, here we go. The Comics Weekly Man. The Comic Week. It's comics, isn't it? Okay, here we go.
I'm the Comic Weekly Man, the jolly Comic Weekly Man, and I'm here to read the funnies to you happy boys and honeys. Yes, boys and girls, it's Comic Weekly time, and here I come right into your house to bring a little fun and happiness, right out of the pages of Puck the Comic Weekly, straight into your living room. Your friend, the Comic Weekly Man, the jolly Comic Weekly Man. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Little Miss Honey, how are you today?
Oh, I just can't wait.
Can't wait for what?
All week long, I've been wondering what's going to happen to Flash Gordon.
Well, if you're that worried about Flash Gordon, suppose we read the funnies right away.
Oh, please do.
Very well, here we go with Puck the Comic Weekly. But first, here's that nice man with something interesting to say.
Okay, I guess there's a live commercial. So just pretend that they're going to buy something now.
Well, have all you kids got Puck the Comic Weekly spread out in front of you? Oh, good. Here we go on the first page with little Snookums. His father, Archie, is showing him how to play baseball, and he breaks a neighbor's window, and the neighbor gets plenty mad.
I guess Archie doesn't know how to play baseball.
I should say not.
And now will you please turn over to Flash Gordon? Because Flash has been captured again by that bad man Zinn.
And Zinn sent Flash into the Liquigen chamber to breathe the smoke that would make him lose his willpower and do anything that Zinn wanted him to do.
But Rubia gave Flash something to put in his nose so that he wouldn't breathe that gas.
But Flash pretends that he has breathed the gas, and Zinn believes that Flash is now in his power.
So please, let's find out what Zinn's going to do with Flash.
Very well, here we go with Flash Gordon.
Magic words for the music, please.
Very well, my lady. Rig-a-dig-a-doon-doon, saskimatash. Let's have music for heroic Flash. Rubia has taken Flash out of the slave barracks where Zinn has placed him. She tells Flash she saved him from the slave gas because she loves him. Flash answers coldly, "You say that Dale is dead. Well, if she is, you and Zinn caused her death, and I'll never forgive you." Ruby becomes angry and tells Flash she'll send him back to the gas chamber herself, but she quickly stops her tirade and whispers that Zinn is coming. Flash again pretends to be a slave zombie and watches for his chance to outwit both Rubia and Zinn. Last picture, top row. Zinn stops when he sees Rubia and Flash and says angrily, "Rubia, you romantic fool! Keep away from Gordon. I need him as my stooge to conquer Mongo. Flash, march back to the slave barracks." Flash pretends to obey. To test Flash, Zinn, first picture bottom row, leads him past the walled area where Dale is kept prisoner. Dale sees Flash and cries out to him. When Flash hears her voice, he almost stumbles, but marches away like an automaton, not daring to turn his head. For if he does, Zinn would know that Flash is not really under the spell of the Liquigen gas. Zinn leads Flash to the slave barracks, saying, "You will obey me, not Rubia. Stay here till I send for you." Flash enters the slave barracks, and the door closes behind him. Flash must rescue Dale or die trying. Later that night, he tunnels under the wall of Dale's prison. Swiftly he digs, hoping to find a way through the wall to tell Dale what his plans are.
Oh, my, I'm so glad that Flash and Dale each know that the other one is still alive.
So am I.
Now maybe Flash can do something to help Dale, and then they can both escape.
Well, let's hope so, because Flash is in a mighty tough spot.
Yes, but, he is a hero, so maybe he'll find a way out.
Yes, we hope. Now look across the page.
Oh, Dick's Adventures in Dreamland. Last week, Dick woke up, and I wonder if this week he'll fall asleep and have another exciting dream.
Well, let's find out. So across the page we go with Dick's Adventures, and say the magic words with me. Riggedy-pack-a-zack-a-zick. Let's have music for Adventurous Dick. Dick has been talking with his father, and he's becoming drowsy. He yawns and says,
"Oh, gosh, Dad. Suppose we turn the clock back 175 years. Back to the year when Paul Revere back to old Boston."
His eyes close. And in a second, he's dreaming that he's with Paul Revere again, back in the city of Boston in the early days of America. Revere, who was a silversmith, that's a man who makes wonderful things out of silver, is packing some candlesticks and teapots and other things in boxes of straw. Paul says,
"Well, I've been waiting quite a while for you, Dick. Tell me, can you drive a team of horses?"
Dick replies, "Why, I think so, Mr. Revere." Last picture, top row. A few minutes later, Dick is moving a number of silver-wrought objects from Paul Revere's workshop down to a wagon at the door. A team of bays is already in place. Meanwhile, first picture, next row, Revere is loading on some mysterious, heavy-looking boxes. He doesn't explain what's in them, nor does Dick inquire. They're pushed out of sight, and then Paul says to Dick,
"We're going to deliver some silverware, which Mr. John Hancock ordered me to fashion for him. He's staying at the Clark Parsonage in Lexington. As to the boxes, it's best that you don't know what's in them, Dick. In fact, you might forget that you ever saw them. I'll ride ahead. You follow directly behind me."
Dick climbs on the wagon and takes up the reins, last picture of the row, and replies, "I understand, sir." And Dick drives off. Slowly through the narrow, clogged streets of Boston, Dick drives the team. A few paces in advance rides Paul Revere, watchfully. As they near the gates leading out of town, first picture, bottom row, a redcoat motions Dick to halt. Dick stops the team. The redcoat soldier asks Dick several questions about what's in the wagon. Dick tells him, last picture. The redcoat soldier answers,
"Master Paul Revere's silverware, you say, eh, boy? Very good. But are you quite sure there's no muskets and bullets hidden in this wagon, eh?"
Dick looks at the soldier in surprise. A short distance away, Paul Revere, astride his horse, watches the British soldier carefully to see what he'll do next.
Well, I'll bet you that is what's in the boxes. Bullets and guns, because maybe Paul is taking them to some Americans who need them.
Say, you really have the mind of a detective.
Well, I should have. I listen to my favorite detective, Nick Carter, all the time.
And I hope you're right. Next week, we'll find out.
Oh, this is exciting, and I can hardly wait until next week to find out if I'm right.
Well, here's something else that's exciting, right under Dick's Adventures.
Oh, yes, Rusty Riley. I'm really worried about that because that slinky Taffy Allardyce, who's Mr. Miles' nephew, is going to do something bad to Big Blaze, our wonderful horse.
And when Rusty told Mr. Miles that he overheard Taffy scheming to fix Big Blaze so that he couldn't run in the race, Mr. Miles didn't want to believe him.
And now Rusty's gone out of the house to try to protect Big Blaze all by himself, and he is just a little boy.
Well, let's read and see whether Rusty saves Big Blaze. So here we go with Rusty Riley. Gallop and run till the road is dusty. Give us music for his horse and Rusty. Taffy is making a long-distance call to the city to a man named Corky. Taffy owes Corky some money, and it's Corky who has told Taffy to fix Blaze so he can't run in the race. Taffy is saying,
"Well, hello, Corky. This is Taffy Allardyce. Now, listen carefully, because I can't talk long, and I don't want to be overheard. Miles is going to ship Big Blaze to Cedar Point Track in the morning. Now, what do you want me to do?" No, nobody's watching him right now. There's a hunt club party going on here, and Tex Purdy has the night off.
Corky replies,
"I got you. We'll have to act quick. There's too much money involved to quit now. Get the key to the horse van if you can. I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Meanwhile, Rusty slips out of the house where the party's going on. Says to himself, "Golly, what am I going to do? Texas away and Mr. Miles won't believe me. I got to protect Blaze somehow." He runs toward the barn. Gee willikins, I just remembered that old cave that used to be a mushroom cellar. I'll put Blaze in there. Rusty goes in the barn quickly, unties Blaze, and leads him out of the stall. Last picture, top row. Come on, boy. Sorry to disturb you, big fella, but we got to get you out of sight. First picture, bottom row. Rusty has led Big Blaze away from the farm out to the cave. And he says, "This won't be quite as ritzy as your own stall, Blaze, but believe me, boy, right now it's a lot safer." And then when he has tied Big Blaze in the cave, Rusty suddenly thinks, "Great guns, I just thought of something. Those men think Hillbilly's Big Blaze. He's in Blaze's stall. Oh, golly, maybe they'll do something to him thinking he's Blaze." Meanwhile, Corky's arrived from the city and is outside by the barn talking to Taffy. He has the van ready and is intending to steal Big Blaze. But what neither of the men know is that the horse in Big Blaze's stall is Rusty's horse, Hillbilly. Taffy says,
"I don't like this, Corky. Stealing Blaze is too risky. Hadn't we better call the whole thing off?"
Corky replies impatiently,
"Shut up and get busy. This is made to order. Bring that nag out and get him into the van."
Taffy goes into the barn to get Hillbilly. Meanwhile, at the house, one of the guests who's leaving is talking to Mr. Miles. He's saying,
"I hate to trouble you with this, Quentin, but I wonder if anyone found your wallet. Mine must have dropped out of my top coat. It had my driver's license in it."
Mr. Miles frowns and replies,
"Oh, good heavens, Judge Adams. Your wallet? No, it must be on the floor in the room where the coats were. Let's have a look."
And there stands that Goldie, that mean Taffy's wife, and she took that wallet last week out of the coat and she put it in Rusty's room.
"Yes, she did."
And now when they look for the wallet, they'll just probably find it in Rusty's room and they'll think that he stole it. And that's just what she wants them to think, that mean, mean woman.
That's exactly what she intends. She wants to get Rusty into trouble.
I think that's terrible, terrible, terrible.
Well, now, maybe you can forget your worries if we take a look at Roy Rogers.
Oh, Roy Rogers, my favorite cowboy.
So turn over the page to page 6, and there underneath the little king is Roy Rogers.
I'm anxious to know what happened now because last week Roy captured that old hermit who was setting the fire to the telegraph poles.
Yes, and Roy found out that he was using a great big magnifying glass to shine the sun through and set things on fire with.
And the hermit's mule, all of a sudden he started kicking Roy, and I wonder if Roy's all right.
Well, let's find out. Here we go with Roy Rogers. Yip-hi-yo. Now here we go with Roy and Trigger. Yip-hi-yo. The crazy mule has been tied to a post where he can do no more harm. Brad, who is Roy's friend, looks at the old hermit and suddenly exclaims,
"Hey, is my eyes playing me false again? Why, it's old Quartz, the prospector."
The old hermit replies,
Nearly blinded you with my big glass, you telegraph varmint. Wish I had. If it weren't for your ornery telegraph line, my mare'd be the fastest message sender in these parts after it's silvered."
Then Mr. I.Q. Theron, the inspector for the telegraph company, looks at the large piece of glass and exclaims,
"He's right. If this lens was silvered for a mirror, he could send code messages by flashing sunlight."
Roy says, last picture, top row, "Well, no wonder he hated the telegraph company. Competition." Brad asks,
"Yeah, but how'd the dang thing start fires?"
Roy replies, first picture, next row, "Well, the unsilvered lens acts like a big burning glass when the sun shines through it." And I.Q. Theron adds,
"Precisely. He shot the concentrate ray on one spot in the valley, and presto, a fire."
Roy says, "Or he could blind anybody coming up the trail." So with the old hermit caught and danger cleared up for the moment, they prepare to return to the camp. Later at the telegraph camp, Brad asks,
"Hey, what are we going to do with old Quartz, Roy?"
Roy replies, "Oh, just hold him in camp till the sheriff decides what to do. He's harmless now, and I doubt if the company will prosecute him now that nothing stands in the way of the telegraph line being finished." As they ride into camp, one of the men calls,
"Hey, Roy Rogers, wire just came from you for Mesa City. Bill Langley wants you there, pronto."
Roy replies, last picture of the row, "Trigger, that means we ride."
without anybody getting hurt.
So am I. And now next week, Roy begins a new adventure.
And I won't miss that.
Neither will I.
Oh, look, right here, underneath Roy Rogers, there's Donald Duckle.
And I'll read that in just a moment. But first, here's that nice man with something interesting to say.
I apologize. Donald Duck is in. I guess Disney didn't have
Now,
everything
here we go
locked
again
down.
with Puck the Comic Weekly. And on page 6 is Donald Duckle, good for a chuckle. Say the magic words with me. Squeejum, squeejum, squiddy, chicka, chat. Let's have music to fit a quack, quack. Today, Donald is at the beach with his 3 nephews. Donald is showing them what a great acrobat he is. He takes a run, leaps into the air, turns a somersault in the air, and exclaims,
Look, boys, a double flip.
and then lands and kicks sand all over a picnic lunch which has been spread out by a man and a lady nearby. The man leaps to his feet and shouts, Get sand on our lunch again and there'll be trouble, you beach acrobat. Donald replies,
Go on. This is a public beach.
and then runs off, saying to his nephew Dewey,
Watch now, a full twist.
He makes a leap in the air, comes down, and lands on a big balloon that his nephew was playing with. The first picture next row shoots straight up into the air and comes down on a cake in front of the angry man. And the man stares at him and frowns and says, Oh, you're... Donald smiles sheepishly, which looks very funny on a duck, and points to a pie in front of him and says,
My, wasn't that lucky? I didn't even touch the pie.
and suddenly there is a... And last picture, Donald is walking off with the pie on top of his head, and his nephew Louis asks cheerfully,
What flavor is it, Uncle Donald?
and Donald is so mad that all he can think to say is,
Oh, wasn't that too bad? That really was an accident.
Yeah.
Donald landing on that balloon that shot him up into the air.
But it certainly wasn't an accident when the man slammed the pie on Donald's head.
No, doesn't he look funny?
He certainly does. Well, now, how would you...
Oh, I just love to very much if it's Dagwood and Blondie.
Why, it certainly is. And here they are, right on the first page of the second section of Puck the Comic Weekly. So here we go with Dagwood and Blondie. Ramafoo, Ramafum, Zim Zam Zombie. Conjure me music for Dagwood and Blondie. Blondie tells Dagwood,
Dagwood, I want everything removed from our attic. It's a disgrace.
Dagwood looks surprised and exclaims, Everything? So up to the attic they go. Dagwood takes a look around at all the stuff, and Blondie says,
All that junk must go.
So Dagwood starts carrying all that junk out of the attic. Last picture, top row, he comes down the ladder carrying a bird cage, a guitar, a horrid-looking picture, and a vacuum cleaner, and books, and an old rug. And he exclaims, Oh, it's amazing how much stuff a family can accumulate over the years. And down the ladder he goes. By the time you get to the first picture, the next row, Dagwood has a big pile of junk in the backyard. And he exclaims, That's my 9th trip. And once more he climbs back up to the attic. Blondie and he look around the empty attic, and she says cheerfully,
Now this is more like it. This is the way an attic should look.
and Dagwood replies, That was all stuff we'd never use again anyway. And then they go downstairs. Last picture of the row, Dagwood says, Now I'll call up the junkman and tell him to take it all away, and good riddance. Meanwhile, Cookie and Alexander are out in the backyard, first picture next row, looking through all the stuff Dagwood carried out. Cookie picks up a doll, saying,
Oh, look, my old Raggedy Ann doll. I can sew her arms back on.
and Alexander picks out a baseball bat and a stuffed muskrat and says,
Hey, they were going to throw my stuffed muskrat away.
Blondie joins him and picks out a clothes dummy, which is what women use to hold their dresses when they're sewing them, and she exclaims,
My goodness, was I this thin once?
and they continue to rummage through the junk, taking out things that they decide to save. Last picture of the row, the 3 of them are climbing back up to the attic, and Alexander says,
Hey, someday I might take guitar lessons.
and Blondie says,
I can recover this old lampshade.
and they dump the stuff in the attic and dash down the ladder again. First picture next row, Blondie says,
Now, let's see what else there is we can use again.
and they begin to rummage in the pile once more. A little later, the junk man gets there. Dagwood goes out in the back. But instead of all the junk in the yard, he sees nothing. And Dagwood shouts, Blondie! Here's the junk man! Where's all the stuff he should take away? And he dashes back up to the attic again and sees the attic looking just the way it was in the first place. And he stares at it and groans, Oh, there's no place like home. Absolutely no place. Shall we read Uncle Remus now?
Yes, I just love Uncle Remus.
Very well, then. Turn over the page and go past Buzz Sawyer, past Barney Google and Jungle Jim. Then turn over the page, and there on page 6, under Little Iodine, is Uncle Remus and his Tales of Brer Rabbit. Hippity hoppity, make it a habit to give us music for old Brer Rabbit. Uncle Remus says,
One time, Brer Rabbit got a letter, and the creatures was mighty curious about what was in it.
Yes, Brer Rabbit comes into the post office, and the postmaster says, A letter for Brer Rabbit from Georgia, USA. Everyone turns in surprise. Brer Rabbit exclaims, For me? And tears it open, takes the letter out, and begins to read. Suddenly he stops because he sees all the creatures standing around him trying to read it too. Brer Bear asks, what's in it? And Brer Buzzard asks, Yeah, what's it say, Brer Rabbit? And Brer Postman, who's it from? Brer Rabbit takes one look around at all the creatures and then shakes his head with a look on his face that says, You'll never know. And then walks out of the post office as Brer Buzzard calls, Hey, Brer Rabbit, wait up. Don't go yet. Last picture, top row, Brer Rabbit walks home, followed by all the creatures. Brer Buzzard follows and hauls, And what's the letter say, Brer Rabbit? Brer Bear,
Does somebody get killed?
And Brer Possum, Good news or bad news? And Brer Rabbit refuses to tell. First picture, bottom row, all the creatures have a conference, and Brer Buzzard has a scheme, and he says, Now listen, we'll get the red from there, and I take the red from there, and you get the red from there, and you okay? Yeah. Brer Bear says,
That's agrees.
And Brer Coon says, And us is depending on you, Brer Buzzard. So off they go to see if the scheme will get Brer Rabbit to show them the letter. By and by, Brer Buzzard sticks his head in Brer Rabbit's shack and says, Brer Rabbit, I has been elected to make you a proposition. Brer Rabbit replies, I's listening, Brer Buzzard. And Buzzard answers, Us reads the letter, and you gets 3 licorice candies, 2 lucky charms, a genuine imitation jewel, and 11 cents. And he throws the loot on the floor. Brer Rabbit smiles cheerfully and says, You read the letter. And he hands the letter to Brer Buzzard, who walks back to his friends and reads last picture. Limited time only. Special offer. Act now. Send $11 in stamps for a set of books on how to get rich. And as Brer Buzzard and his friends look very disgusted, Brer Rabbit smiles cheerfully and says, Keep reading, Brer Buzzard. There's lots more. And Uncle Remus says,
Smart head and closed mouth is first cousin.
Brer Rabbit surely fooled them that time, didn't he?
Yes, I should say so. Well, now it's time for Prince Valiant.
Oh, yes. And the leader has made those 2 kings that were having a war settle down and make peace.
Yes, now let's see how everything ends. So here we go on the last page with Prince Valiant in the days of King Arthur. Eckert, Breckett, Grey Malkin, and Quince. Music romantic for a fair, fair prince. King Hap-Atla, who had attacked the castle of King Agwar, and who could not enter it by force, has now come into the castle as a dinner guest. He had come here to capture the castle of Thule and had failed. And now he's been forced to sit down and talk terms of peace. Naturally, he wants the terms of peace to be such that he can return home without having everyone think he's a failure. As they sit at dinner, he alone is unhappy, for his vow to take Thule is unfulfilled. But last picture top row, Alita intends to fix that too, so everyone will be happy. An important document is set before the king. King Aguar looks at the document, then smiles and hands it to King Hapatla, first picture next row, saying, I hereby assign to King Hapatla of the Inner Lands the throne and kingdom of Thule. Alita claps her hands and squeals with delight and says to King Hapatla, now you've kept your vow, and there'll be no more trouble between our lands. Then she hands him another parchment, which is a piece of paper, and says, now you can abdicate. Abdicate means that now he can sign the other paper, which returns the throne and kingdom of Thule back again to King Aguar. But King Hapatla, last picture of the row, grasps his title desperately, his brain reeling. He has tasted defeat, frustration, an overpowering dose of feminine common sense. And now, triumph. He stands there silently. Alita gives a signal, and first picture bottom row, some curtains part. And two executioners are standing there with axes in their hands. And Alita's voice is saying, too bad you won't abdicate. Well, it's been nice knowing you. Hapatla smiles at this joke and takes up the quill. For the first time since taking his vow, he laughs. And then he turns to Alita, saying, solemn statesmen labor long months on treaties that can be broken in a minute. But you've shown me that simple friendliness and trust are permanent. And I, a defeated king, will forever remember your generosity. And I will also remember never to underestimate a woman's ruthless common sense.
I didn't quite understand what Alita did. Would you please explain it to me?
Well, Alita knew that Hapatla would feel bad going home the loser, so she decided on a plan to make everyone happy. She first had King Aguar give Hapatla the papers saying that Hapatla had won the war in all the lands. Then she had him give King Aguar another paper saying that he would give all the land back again to King Aguar. And that way, it would look to everyone that King Hapatla had won and yet had been kind enough to give the land back.
Oh, well, why did Alita open the curtains and show Hapatla those executioners?
Well, just in case Hapatla didn't want to do as she said, she wanted him to know that he couldn't get away with it.
Oh, wasn't that a smart thing to do?
Certainly was. Now, that's all the time I have. And now here's that nice man with something interesting to say.
Hi, nice man here. Listen to Joe Townsel's Dread Time stories on the Weber Internet Radio.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, honey, and all you boys and girls, I've got to go now.
All right, Mr. Comic Weekly Man, but I'll be waiting for you next week.
Okay, that's a date. And it is with all you boys and girls. Be sure to meet me with our little friend, Miss Honey, next week when I read Puck the Comic Weekly. For I'm the Comic Weekly Man, the jolly Comic Weekly Man. I'll be back to read the funnies to you happy boys and honeys. Don't forget, boys and girls, see you all next week. Your friend, the Comic Weekly Man, the jolly Comic Weekly Man.
Wow. That's a lot, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. I want to ask you, Joe, and I want to ask everybody in the chat. Any regrets?
I want more installments, please.
Oh, no. Really?
Oh, yeah.
There are so many installments of this show. I mean, honest to God, of all of the radio shows, this one has, I think somebody discovered a treasure trove of these recordings. They sound pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's just a ton of them. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Why the annoying kid impersonator? Why the exhaustive description of where each panel falls on the page?
Well, Now, this is something that you were an avid reader as a kid, I imagine. I don't think I'm guessing there.
No. I mean, I've got comic strip collections here in my bookcases.
Yeah. So I think sequential art was still a thing that people felt they had to explain. And we don't know how young these kids are listening to this show, but I will say we haven't listened to very many kids shows at all in our radio show adventures. And there were a lot of what would they call them, cohorts. They try to create a kid character.
Right.
And maybe it's not a bad thing. I mean, I remember being a kid myself, and I always loved the kid characters on shows.
But how old was Shirley Temple at this time? Like teenager? I mean, couldn't they have something like her? I mean,
well, I mean, this is 1950. Well, here's the thing: a lot of kids' shows had actual kids on them.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like, why not have an actual kid?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too that the actress playing Honey played Blondie quite well, I'd say.
Again, kind of furthering my point is like maybe that's where her range should be, not down here.
If she could get a better gig, Joe, I'm sure she would have.
True, I shouldn't knock her work. But
I mean, and she probably did. Actually, I need to do some research on that, but because I don't know her name, I don't even know his name. But this was probably an early gig for her. And the thing about radio, I think we've discussed this. If you were working in radio, you would work probably all day. Some of your day might be spent going and auditioning for shows, but a lot of times once a producer had hired you, he would hire you again. And he might even hire you for a job you weren't great at just because he liked working with you, right, and he knew you could turn the work around really fast. That was a great skill in radio. But
radio, John, I'm a stupid little kid. I don't know what happened in Prince Valley. Could you please explain it to me, sir, please?
I know there's such a weird finger in the mouth, oh, it's so creepy.
But you know what? Seriously, I guess if you have a little kid audience with this radio program, that they might, because Valiant was kind of complex in its art, and I mean these comics, it isn't like they were later. I mean, each one, like Valiant, I think Valiant took up a whole page in some editions.
Yes, and Valiant also had it had a thick text. It had a big block of text,
right,
at the top of the page, and each panel was a beautiful kind of painting. It was gorgeous. But I'm telling you, when I was a little kid in the 70s, I'd be like, I'm just going to skip Prince Valiant.
Peanuts. There we go. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was kind of like an abbreviated form of a graphic novel almost in its artistry.
Yes, and I don't recall the strips being very satisfying either, because it always seemed to me like that one was like Steve Roper and Mike Nomad. It would go on for weeks. You wouldn't know where you were in the story. It was like Mary Worth.
I was going to mention, if you didn't, I mean, Mary Worth was the worst. Okay, we got 2 lines of dialogue. Come back tomorrow.
I know. Mary Worth was always like, wait, is what you told me yesterday correct? You mean when I told you about the person who did the very bad thing? Yes. Is that correct? Well, it is. Continued tomorrow.
I think you get it is after the continued tomorrow. Gotta have that cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Oh, boy. Comic strips were a tough mistress. My parents didn't allow us to read comic books, so I was in a constant state of frustration as a kid reading these books. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us. We took a little trip around journalism land through the lens of radio. That's a terrible metaphor. Thank you, Chris. Mary Worthless.
got the funnies at the end, which of course is what we'd always looked at the end of the paper.
That's right. That's right. The best part. All right, Fred.
A great lineup tonight, John. My compliments to you, sir.
Yeah, I thank you very much. We have, and I did not get it ready. Oh, you're absolutely right, Chris. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, and give us comments if you can, because we need all the engagement we can get.
YouTube definitely looks at engagement in the form of comments to satisfy their notion of what our credibility is. So let's all play the game and comment. I'll do it too.
Now, I do want to take people through because I didn't get it correct. Okay, there we go. So next Sunday, we're doing Retro Rangers. It is one of our horror entries for October. Do we know anything, Joe, about Carnival of Souls?
Our special guest will be Tony Luna. Of the three of us, I believe he's the only one that's seen it.
Yes.
So I'm not even going to hazard a guess. I mean, of course, in researching the graphic, I discovered a little bit. And I'm not going to bring this up because it might be a big spoiler, but it does hearken apparently to something that came just prior on TV. So I'll just leave it at that. But it's definitely a trip. It's a mind F. In other words.
Okay. Yeah, I have heard some things about it, and it's on YouTube, so we can watch it. I believe it's public domain.
That's one reason we picked it. It's public domain, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Radio Joe.
Thank you, Radio John. It was a delight as always, sir.
Thank you for being with us, Chris. Thank you for being with us, Johnny Atkinson and Mike Sauter. If you're still with us, thank you very much. If you are watching this, thank you so much for bearing with us the whole time. That'll do it, Radio Joe. It's the end of the shift.
It is, Radio John. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you.